What's up, YouTube? Back to you guys with another great video today. So today we're going to be going over Cardi B and STEFFON Diggs post Super Bowl. I'm sure you guys already seen what happened in the Super Bowl and everything like that, especially regarding these two. Allegedly, STEFFON Diggs brought in one of his other baby mamas and their kids to go watch him in the Super Bowl, and Cardi B didn't too much appreciate that. So apparently they unfollow each other and all this other mess. Not the biggest in the celebrities, stuff like that, but it's talk of town and everything. So let's see what the people have to say and let's jump right on into it.
B and STEFFON Diggs are a public example of what happens when a woman performs masculinity in a relationship instead of respecting divine feminine order. Let me break it down to you. Just a reminder, you guys, it almost always backfires. Cardi B cheated on Offset, her husband. Okay, she cheated on him. She had a baby with STEFFON Diggs, a much younger bachelor, football player, mind you, with other baby mamas who were currently pregnant when she was pregnant. But that's not the point. She began a relationship with him. She had a baby with him very quickly upon starting that relationship. Typical bird brain behavior. You know, you guys don't get to know a nigga. You just have his baby off rip. You let the internet hype you up. You were bragging. You're outside. You're in the clubs despite having like 50 fucking kids. You're in the clubs. You're turned up. You're doing what Cardi B does. You're letting the internet, yeah, you go, girl. Girl power. Get back at your man. You talked all that shit, acting like you can move how a nigga move, do what a nigga do. And as we can see, you can't do that. Now you sitting up with your feelings hurt. You unfollowed a nigga because he invited another you to his bedroom. I just can't get over this. You gave up being a wife to be a left hoe. This isn't necessarily about Cardi B as a person, okay? This is more so about the patterns of a modern woman, because what Cardi B is doing is publicizing what the average woman does every day.
So we're going to go ahead and stop it right there. She said a whole lot right there. So let's go ahead and just kind of digest some of that. At the end, she definitely said how a lot of women digest what Cardi B does, or what a lot of other female artists do, or yes, people in general, especially in the black community. We love worshiping the goddamn celebrities. I don't know why, but it's just a thing, unfortunately. But it was a ton of women hurrahing and celebrating Cardi B leaving Offset and jumping straight into STEFFON Diggs, saying, "You go, girl, girl power, have your fun, sis." Blase this, blase that. Whole bunch of nonsense. And of course, a bunch of dudes in there trying to argue with women saying, "No, it's a bad idea," and stuff like that. Like they were going to listen, but whatever. But they weren't wrong, but it was just a waste of time to even try. But other than that, yeah, definitely what she said, bird brain behavior. I would have to agree that's her words, not mine, but definitely wasn't the best idea to jump from one situation to the next, jump from D to D. It just doesn't work. I know a lot of people say take your time and heal first, which I don't completely agree with, but I'll discuss that later. But other than that, you dealt with a man, you knew what he was, you knew who he was, what he had going on, and you thought you could make it work for whatever reason. I don't know why. I'm not really sure what's going on through that woman's head. I don't really know what goes on through any of the celebrities' heads. But it's not looking too good now. So that's what she has to say.
You can take a bitch out the hood. You can give a bitch from the hood some money, but it ain't gonna make her any less of a hood bitch. She gonna continue to do what hood bitches, simple-minded, bird brain hoes do. And that's eventually just end up being a baby mama. Many women try to imitate male behavior by moving too quickly, by casual intimacy, not prioritizing commitment, treating relationships and people as they're disposable. All the things that a lot of women complain about men about. You have women who are really trying to imitate these same exact motives that a lot of these men they complain about have. Because for whatever reason, acting like this, women feel like it makes them powerful, makes them above, but it always ends in failure. You are an emotional being, okay? You're not logical like a man. You can't move emotionless like a man can, where a man can go and fuck all these hoes. You can't do it because, bitch, you end up pregnant. You end up pregnant. You fall in love with the man. You fall in love with the man. Ain't gotta work. Men impregnate bitches all the time and don't be giving a flying flippity fuck about them. Women cannot do that. You cannot move like a man.
I'll stop right there. Once again, she said a whole lot. Sitting there trying to be like a man and stuff like that, move like a man. Women, y'all aren't us. Y'all never be us. We'll never be y'all. Y'all gotta do things the way that works better for y'all and y'all biology and everything like that, and y'all psychology, and vice versa. It's just that simple. But all this feminist movement and stuff like that. Hey, you don't need no man. You can be just like a man. You can do what a man do. Nah, not at all. We are different. We're very much, we are very much different. We have a lot of similarities, and there is a lot of stuff that you can do that a man can do, but for the most part, no. Even most things that you can do that a man can do is usually not to the same effect. Like women in the military and all this other stuff like that. I'm cool with it, it's fine, but yes, women in law enforcement, all that stuff like that, they aren't as physically capable as men are because we just biologically are just more physically dominant than most women. Most women, they'll never be able to physically keep up with a man, not because they can, just biology. It's only a small, very minute percent of women that can actually physically keep up with a man, along with a bunch of other stuff. We don't need to get in all that. Y'all guys already get all this stuff. But yeah, I agree with everything she has said there. Like all men just sit there and just can emotionally have sex with women and stuff like this and not care about their baby mama stuff like that. No, there's a lot of men that can, but not every man just look. Men, even the ones that quote unquote have no, they do. It's just very small. But the idea that a man just has no feelings or no regards for any woman that he knocked up with everything like that, even the most reckless guy out there, he has some feelings towards baby mama. Come on now, that's BM at the end of the day. There's only a few dudes that really like don't give no shits about him. It's a small percent, but neither here nor there. But let's see what else she has to say.
Cardi B played her role completely wrong. You were trying to be funny towards your husband, okay? You went and you had a baby by another man. And as you can see, this man don't really give that much of a fuck about you. I really want to know what their relationship is like behind closed doors because I can't. For when they asked Stefan Diggs if he was planning on marrying, because I know we only get a form of what the relationship. I know what my relationship is, and I know what y'all know about my relationship. It's completely different. So, what is their relationship like in real life? Because he was all like, "Oh, I just gotta focus on me. I gotta focus on me." I feel like she be following him around like a little duckling. You know what I'm saying? Like a little needy ass duck. As a woman, trying to be like a man never benefits you. Trying to move like a man, and then my thing is, y'all be trying to move like men. Y'all be trying to move like the men that y'all complain about. Why you don't want to be like a better version of a man? Why you want to move like the men that y'all claim you hate so much? When you could have been sitting up at the Super Bowl with your husband and your 3 babies, you set your happy ass up at the Super Bowl with 5 of his other options that he invited. And you wasn't even the one that he allowed in the hotel room with him. But you just had his baby 2 months ago. Boy, you should have just stayed with Offset. You have to look at this from a masculine perspective. Stefan Diggs don't owe Cardi B shit. Well, he owes that baby something because he decided to give her a baby for whatever reason. But he doesn't owe her exclusivity. He doesn't owe her marriage. He doesn't owe her a relationship just because she left her husband for him. She made that decision. She chose to do that. Stefan Diggs didn't tell her to do that. This man, how old? 24, 25 years old. He ain't tell her to do that. This is
Mm. Stefan Diggs' age.
Stefan Diggs is 32 years old.
I don't know if y'all can see that right there. But yeah, you're a little bit older than me. You just turned 32 in November, past November. So yeah, I don't know where she getting her age from, but he's not that young. He's 32 for reference.
what happens when celebrities got social media. Now you trying to use social media to get back at your man, and it backfired. Again, I hope Offset is somewhere popping champagne with a couple of hoes having a good time.
All right, so yeah, that was a lot to take in. I definitely agree with about 9 to 95% of what she said there. Definitely made a lot of good points. Women definitely should not be trying to move like men in any capacity. As I said before, we are undeniably different at the end of the day, as well as she even said it there, her trying to get back at her man. As I'm sure a lot of you guys might know, women, they only tend to cheat if the man cheated on them, then they'll want to try to get a get back. You know what I'm saying? They don't like having somebody being having one up on them or something like that. Or try to find any sort of vindictive way to get back at the man who's wrong with them or did them dirty or anything like that. A lot of women can be vindictive and petty like that. It is what it is. That just comes with the game with a lot of women. You just gotta know who you're dealing with at the end of the day. But let me just give you my full synopsis on this situation. I know a lot of people will say the correct thing to do is what I said earlier, that when a woman breaks up, whether it be her or the man, usually it's a woman, but whatever, that she should take some time to herself. I agree with that. Not only take some time to herself, but go and heal. What exactly does that mean when a woman goes and heal? What the fuck does that even mean? What does that look like exactly? That's where I take umbrage. That's where you kind of lose me. That's where we kind of lose the plot. And you can even go back to the late great Kevin Samuels. He talked about this a lot and how women will quote unquote heal and all this stuff like that. But when a woman typically goes and heals, let me ask you guys this. Do they ever do anything to make themselves a better spouse for the next potential man that they'll be with? Like, really think about it. When women say they go and heal, what do you normally see them going out and going and doing when they go and heal? If it doesn't involve a man, like leave men out of it, like they're taking time to themselves fully and they're going to heal. What does that normally look like? They like go take a trip or something like that, go back to school, get some other random hobby or something like that. That's all nice and all. Maybe even start a business. You can't forget that. It might start a business, something like that. That's nice and dandy and all that. But what does that have to do with building your relationship skills and making yourself a better spouse to the next potential guy that you might end up with? How exactly does that translate with any of those things that are listed or anything that I might have left out? Do you ever see women doing anything to make themselves a better spouse to a masculine man that's on his purpose, about his business, financially stable, all that good jazz? What are they doing to make themselves better for that potential man? Usually dipshit. Not a whole lot of nothing. It's usually what happens. One of the main reasons why that will happen is, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this, but when a woman ends up breaking up with a man, what usually happens? They'll find some way to make it be that the man was the villain. It was all his fault, so she can leave scot free, like she ain't do no wrong. Whenever you ask a woman why their relationship ended, anything like that, what do you guys normally hear? 9 times out of 10, hell, 9.9 times out of 10, what do you hear? It was all his fault. She did next to nothing. She was just this perfect little angel. So if most women are breaking up and leaving their relationships, excuse me, and then they also put all the onus on the guy and end up leaving thinking or feeling like they did nothing wrong, how in the hell would they be able to sit there and improve on their relationship skills so that they'll be a better helpmate to their potential husband or a better spouse to their next potential man? How? Because if you want to get married, women, the main thing for a woman to do in marriage is to be a helpmate to their man. You are supposed to be a helpmate to your husband. Says that in the Bible, all that good jazz. Respect, honor, obey, all that stuff. So if you're not doing things to improve on those skill sets among a few other things, then how the hell are you really healing or making yourself better for the next person if you're just gonna leave that guy? Same thing with CARDI B. You might as well just stay with Offset. I get why she left because it was rampant infidelity. He kept on cheating on her and it was public. So she got publicly humiliated and she tried to work through it. She didn't leave after the first couple of times. He cheated a lot of times. She still stayed. So she stuck around. She tried to fight it out. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't hold her against leaving Offset. I ain't even gonna lie to you. She gave him a bunch of chances. He kept doing it. And y'all can go with the whole he a high value this or that, yada yada yada. Look, if we wrong with that whole trope, it's it's only so much a person can take. It's only so much. Like at the end of the day, Offset put a ring on her, married her, had his kids and all that stuff. They did a lot of stuff right, but don't embarrass your woman. I don't agree with cheating, but if you just go out by a guy or whatever, and it's kind of implied, or you already have an agreement that it's okay to him to step out time to time, cool, but it should have some rules to it. You shouldn't want your wife publicly humiliated and making her look dumb because every time he got caught publicly He's embarrassing himself and his wife. I don't agree with that. Even if I was okay with cheating, I definitely don't agree with him publicly mutilating his wife. So I get why she left. So no, I don't. Even women leaving to heal, they don't even know how to do that right. So no, it's there's a lot more to it. Our community, we we love degenerate behavior and stuff like that. Women supporting all that stuff with what Cardi B was doing because they living their lives with her because they doing a lot of stuff that Cardi B is doing. So they want somebody to justify their existence and know they're not the only ones. What they always say, misery enjoys company and all that jazz. So yeah, it was just a situation that was doomed to fail, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if here. Let me take this down. I think we got what we needed out of this. There we go. I just want to chop it up with y'all real quick. But yeah, man, don't ever let because don't ever let women talk about they finna go and heal or their mental health and stuff like that. It's all BS at the end of the day. Because even a woman leaves, what I honestly think most women should do is go back to their ex. Because God, honestly, you left Offset to go with Stefan Diggs, who already has a bunch of baby mamas that you know about, and everybody knows that he wasn't lying about it. And then you become his like sixth or seventh baby mama, and he's still sleeping around with other women while you might as well just stay with Offset. Like I said, I get why she left. I'm honestly don't blame her for leaving, but you left just to go deal with that. You might as well just stay where you was at. Most women, they better off going back to their ex. But you want to know what the main problem is? They got too much fucking pride. They got way more ego and pride than most men because they think they the prize and all this other craziness, and they got way too much pride. You want matter of fact, I'll do y'all one better. Y'all want to know a little something about me? Share a little something with y'all real quick. It's been a couple of women that I personally dealt with, slept with, all this stuff like that, and they would hit me with the "What are we? Where is this going?" stuff, and I'm like, all right, get the talking to them, seeing really where their heads at and everything like that, talking relationship talk, cool, whatever. And you want to know what I end up saying to most of them when I really do a deep dive and peel back the layers and really get understanding who they are, what their past relationships were, and stuff like that. You want to know what I normally say to them? Baby girl, you better off going back to your ex. I swear to God, right hand on the Bible. And these are women that I was sleeping with and all that stuff like that. And I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, you better off going back to your ex. I don't see this working between us going any further. You better off going back. You want to know what they say to me every time? Oh, I could never go back to him. I could never do that. What do you mean, never? If it wasn't rampant infidelity or crazy abuse, something like that, he wasn't smacking her around, nothing like that, baby girl, you better off going back to him. The guy who you lost your virginity to, that should have been your husband. The guy you gave a kid to should have been your husband. I would say about 90% of these women out here, they better off going back to their ex, but they won't do it. They want to go and heal. I need to take care of my mental health. Yeah. And when women go and do that, what type of results yield for them regarding relationships? Do they go to something better? Do they end up being married and staying in marriage for the rest of their life? Yeah, I ain't got to answer that. We know the marriage rates and statistics for black women, women in general in America. They end up getting some guy that they don't like us guys. They like the idea of a guy. Even the guys they are highly physically attracted to, they might lust over him. They might like what he looked like and how good in bed he is, but they don't like him. They like how he looked. They like how good he is in bed. And more importantly, they love how he makes him feel. They love the idea of a guy. They never actually like the guy himself, even the guy that they run around chasing after. It ain't him in particular. They don't love him. They love the idea, whatever little fantasy they built up in their head of what they think he should be to them and all this other stuff. That's what they love. That's what they're chasing after. It ain't you. It is never us. 99% of the goddamn time is what it is. But let me get off my soapbox. I just felt like chopping it up with you guys. This one time, real quick, everything like that. Valentine's Day coming up and all this good jazz. So, got something going on. Hey, do your thing, whatever. Do whatever's in your budget and have yourself a blast, all that good stuff. And yeah, let me know down in the comment box down below what you guys think. Do you think that Cardi B and STEFFON Diggs get back together? Do you think it's over for them? Do you think she'll end up going back to Offset? What do you guys think down below? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, let other people know what's going on. Appreciate you guys, and I'll get back to you guys next time.